So I've been going through my backlog quite a bit recently, just playing through some different games I haven't played in forever, and I've also been testing out some controllers, like this third-party controller, and I've noticed there's really some big things you want in a controller, one of them being pressure-sensitive buttons, okay? Like if I go ahead and I pull out my gun right now, you'll notice in this game you gently push it to aim, okay? So if I want to just look at something with my gun out, maybe I want to shoot, maybe I don't. On here, if you don't have the pressure, you literally just keep shooting. Like, I'm gonna run out of ammo. Like, they know I'm here now. I can't play like this. Now, this is something I feel like a lot of people have kind of overlooked, myself included, for some of these videos, is that pressure sensitivity in a lot of games, specifically Metal Gear Solid, and I'll show you some more, it's very important to have that. Like, I'll go ahead and go into first person view, and then I'll just barely touch it, and you look, I'm not shooting. You don't have to shoot. You could just kind of pull it out and be like, do I want to shoot that thing? Yeah, sure, whatever, I'll shoot that thing. Or you can walk on over. Let me actually go find something to shoot. Right there. There you go. Man, do I want to shoot this thing right here? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Nah. Or, if you're playing on a pressure sensitive, or not pressure sensitive, you just have to shoot. And you can do both. If you use an actual good controller, you can just go crazy. You know, you don't have to be like super feather finger. You can absolutely do whatever. Not that it does anything, apparently. They don't really care, but you know what? It's the thought that counts, right? Just having the ability to be able to do that, to run around and be able to just go crazy, or not. You know, I can go, you know, I think they're dead. I don't think I need to shoot anymore. You go, nope. Oh, but if there's some people who aren't, you know, maybe you want to just blap them all. And you can. And this is just a normal old PS2 controller. But you'll probably run out of ammo if you aren't using one, because you have to go into full spray mode to be able to do anything. Oh, there's a dog. Hey, look. Okay, well, I think that's about time to go into a different game. After seeing those dogs, I just want to get into a nice, wholesome game. Like Grand Theft Auto 3. Now, on GTA 3, you're actually supposed to be able to drive cars in whichever way you want. And that includes driving it like a normal person or driving it like a madman. So let me go ahead and just get a car real quick. Hello, excuse me. Thank you. So, I'm going to drive it like a madman to get away, right? Just pedal to the metal, full throttle. Oh, there's a cop. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you the next one now. Now, if you just barely push on it, you can go super slow, just like you're driving in real life. You know, you have some throttle control. You can go really slow or really fast. So if I want to go ahead and try to like match this car's speed, I can. I don't have to keep like braking all the time to do something. Now, well, I'm not really going to be able to match the car's speed because he's not looking like he wants to move. But if I go ahead and swap it over, I will actually show you what happens with a different controller. So on the third-party controller, I'm going to show you what happens whenever I try to feather the throttle. It just goes full send. You have to have pedal to the metal the entire time. This is what a third-party controller lets you do, which in a game like this, there are going to be times where you don't want to go crazy. So the solution to that is to either just kind of let go of the button every so often, which is what I'm doing, which honestly, like, it's not awful. You can absolutely play the game on a third-party controller and not have a horrible time. Just kind of let go of the X button every so often, or hit your brakes. I'd probably just let go of the X button. It definitely is going to take, like, more getting used to, though. It's certainly much easier on the PS2 controller. But the third-party, I mean, there's a lot of perks with it as well, so, you know, pick whichever one you like. For me, I'm probably going to stick with the DualShock 2. Now, here's a game I haven't played in forever, mostly because it made my finger hurt. The pressure sensitivity on this game, I would actually say, is a downside, because it's a racing game, and most of the time you kind of want to go fast, so you're just mashing into the controller as hard as you can. If anything, I kind of wish it was like, I don't know, somehow configured to be in the opposite, or I wish they had the L2 and R2 triggers that the PS2 or PS3 and PS4 had. That would be really nice instead of just mashing into the X button. So yeah, it does have pressure-sensitive buttons, and that's certainly the way it was made to be played. But I think it might be interesting to try it with the third party instead, and just see how going full throttle the entire time works. Alright, this is asking for full throttle, and that's literally all I can do on the third-party controller. I don't have the ability to have pressure-sensitive buttons on this controller, so I can't give it any less than full throttle. Now, on this game, in my experience doing this track anyway, I kind of actually want to do full throttle. Like, most of the time, my finger is just mashing the button, and it, like, I made a joke about it earlier, it does actually kind of hurt my finger pushing down a ton. So, I think on this, as long as you let go whenever you need to, which right there, I need to slow down, so I just let go of the throttle, and then whenever I want to pick back up, I go ahead and I push back down on the X button. You don't have to grind into it, you don't have to do anything crazy. I think a big thing with this, a lot of people talk, and to be fair, in my wireless controllers video, I didn't really highlight pressure sensitivity all that well, so I do feel kind of bad about that, and I hope to make some more videos talking about some different controller options that you can do because of that. But I also want to point out that, like, in a lot of games, you can kind of circumvent using the pressure sensitive buttons, specifically in driving. Like, if you need to feather on the throttle, just let go of the button. Like, and a lot of the games with cars in them, you can kind of just start slowing down a fair bit by doing that. Like, on PC, the way that you drive with keyboard and mouse is pretty much just that, since there are no pressure sensitive buttons, and new consoles don't have that either. The PS3 is the last DualShock you can get to do that, which I definitely want to make a video talking about using a PS3 controller on the PS2, because I think that's a really good solution to keep your pressure sensitive buttons, because a lot of people do want them, and I definitely would prefer to have them if I have the ability to do so, but to be honest, it's not really a deal breaker for me. Like, I feel like I'm actually playing this a lot better now that I have the pressure sensitive buttons, or now that I don't have the pressure sensitive buttons. Like, I think it really just depends on your game, and, I think it's a good idea to have two controllers, right? Like, I would have an official one, and then, like, if you want to have your one that you use while you're on the couch and you're not playing Metal Gear or whatever, then that's totally fine. And the thing with Metal Gear, anyway, is that if you're ADSing, you don't need to have the gun out, like, and you could just use your inventory to get rid of the weapon as well. Like, it's really not that big of a deal to not have these pressure-sensitive buttons. It's kind of funny, because that is not what I had written out for this video. My verdict was not going to be that, whatever, like, just use a third-party controller, it's not that big of a deal. I was going to be like, oh man, it's a real shame the controllers don't use this anymore, and stuff like that, but honestly, I think a lot of the games that I play personally, you can circumvent the pressure-sensitive buttons fairly easily. I really just, whatever's the cheapest and most comfortable for you, that's what I would go with. If you want to use something like the Logitech wireless controller or the Brook Super Converter, by all means, feel free to do those. Those are really good solutions, but certainly don't feel like you need to, spend $50 on a PS2 controller or something. Like, I don't know, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. So if I think I don't want to shoot and I have this gun out, you know what you do? You stand up or down and you just put it away. Just like that. Ta-da! Don't have to shoot. In a scenario where you want to be sneaky, it's pretty easy to just stand up or lay down and not fire on someone. Or you can just go to the menu and de-equip it. Crazy, I know.